Is that the fastest you've ever gotten a song written and pitched and cut?
Yeah.
In like a week.
On Kinfolks, when I heard it on the radio for the
different.
first time, the second verse was completely different than I had a week and a half earlier. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
So obviously you're a massive songwriter too, in addition to being the band leader. Keith's band. You had a song on Morgan's album.
Yeah.
Last Drive Down Main.
Yeah.
When you have most people always say, like, unless the song is a single, you don't really get that much money for an album cut.
Now you don't because of streaming.
Right.
Yeah.
But on that Morgan album, which streams so well,
Yeah.
do you end up doing okay with that song?
I don't know yet. I haven't gotten
It's too
paid
early.
yet.
It's too soon.
It's too early. It's probably coming. I'll probably start seeing something.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that would be pretty good.
That you'll see something for.
Just the fact that he is singing on something that, me and Ryan heard and Michael Lawton wrote. He cut it like a week after we wrote it too. Just the fact that you hear that voice, that's pretty good.
How did you get him the song? He cut it a week after.
Yeah. I think my publisher, Travis Myatt, sent it to Sarah Kanabe, who was kind of, I think she's not working for the label, but she was kind of hired to look for songs. And she sent it to his producer, I think, and he loved it and then sent it straight to Morgan.
So she sent it to Joey Moy, basically,
Yes.
and he goes, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was about a week, maybe a week and a half after we wrote it.
It is a great song. It's got a great riff in it, like a great
awesome.
feeling to it. How much did the demo sound like the finished version?
Pretty close. Yeah. The riff is the riff's the same. The main riff that I came up with is the same, but then they just added a couple different things that were a little different. But that voice though, man, woo,
Sounds great on that record.
you can't. I don't know if there's much better.
Is that the fastest you've ever gotten a song written and pitched and cut?
Yeah.
In like a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely the fastest.
Yeah. And then you had the Outskirts title track from Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible song too. That
yeah,
song is
but
massive.
it's just now starting to catch fire.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to do really well now. It was put out in July, I think, of last year, and just sat there. It didn't do anything, like nothing. And I was actually told at the Christmas party for 12/6, my publishing company, Sam's brother, Van Hunt, was there. Cool name for a cool guy.
Van Hunt. It's a great name.
Yeah. He told me at that party, he's like, no, it's done. It's just not going to go anywhere. I was like, okay. So I had to let go of that because I knew that song's a hit. Like, I just knew. And somehow, I think his manager, Sam's manager, Brad Blanche, went in there and just started raising hell and just like, we got to do something here. And it's caught fire now. I think it might be top 10 next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's working.
And it came out, last year? March last year, roughly?
Yeah. It was streaming for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think it was streaming so well, they convinced me to make it the
They brought it to radio, yeah.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself part of that camp? Because you've had, you've had a handful of songs. Kinfolk.
Yeah. I think, and I'm you
House
never
Party
know, but I might have his next one too.
Yeah.
We have a song called Locked Up that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited about
Do you
this one.
consider yourself like in the Sam Hunt camp?
Yeah,
Or like
I
a little
guess,
bit? Like
yeah.
for the, for,
Yeah, because every single time that he does something,
he calls you.
yeah, I'm the up-tempo guy for him, definitely.
Yeah.
Even though Outskirts is not really, well, I guess it is, kind of is. I don't know. But House Party, those kind of vibes, Kinfolks is a little more up-tempo than he normally does, and that's kind of my wheelhouse, so I come in for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing that, because I've heard you say that you're usually like the groove guy.
Yeah.
You consider yourself less of a lyrics person.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, but I'm
You can still bang
doing-
out a lyric.
Yeah.
Don't sell him short.
I had
He'll
one
bang out a
last
lyric.
week. I wrote one last week with this young artist, Bryce Leatherwood.
Who is that? I don't even know what that is.
I
wanna
think
know.
he was on The Voice. I mean,
Okay,
it's the
yeah,
best country name ever.
Oh, my
Bryce
God.
Leatherwood. He's a great young guy. He's like 24 years old. He is definitely like throwback 90s country. His voice is the real deal from Georgia. But that song we wrote with Jared Keim and Ryan Beavers, who just had their first #1 with Warren Ziders a couple weeks ago, which is super exciting for those dudes. But I actually came in with a whole chorus written, lyrics and the melody, which is rare for me. I usually You know, I'll have titles, that kind of thing, but I'll usually stick to the melody and the
Yeah,
feel,
right.
You know, especially with Sam, because he's one of the greatest lyricists out there. You know.
Does he drive you crazy with how much he edits? Like, does he
Oh,
bring
yeah.
you into that process?
No,
Or no?
no. I mean, he just wants it. He wants it right, so he takes the time. Like sometimes, you know, a year or two per song. He'll do multiple versions of it, just because he just wants it to be right, and the final product is usually amazing. Not usually, always. He's just so damn good at what he does. But he edits like someone edits a book they're writing. You know, he doesn't do it in, you know, the normal time. We do it here in Nashville 11 to 3 usually.
Right.
No, he doesn't work like that.
But does he get like, will he ever call you back to a song? Like on Kinfolk, did he ever call you back past the initial day when you wrote the main song? Does he ever call you back and say, we need to get together and work on this a little bit? Or is he doing most of that on his own?
I think he's doing that on his own, or he's calling Josh Osborne, his guy. They work together and everything.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he does different versions. I've told the story before. On Kinfolks, when I heard it on the radio for the first time, the second verse was completely different than I had a week and a half earlier.
Yeah.
Not just like kind of different. Every word was different. Yes. And his other verse was amazing.
Yeah.
But he just had a gut feeling. Like, this is not right.
He just goes with it.
He goes with it, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a man who he should be an example for all young artists out there, because he, from the very beginning, when he got his first record deal, because a lot of people are intimidated by that. They're intimidated by producers, or they're intimidated by label A&R people to get told what they're supposed to be. That was not him. That guy, for the very beginning, said, this is how it is, this is who I am, and this is how we're going to roll.
And it worked for him.
It worked for him.
Of course.
I think that's why it worked for him, because he knew who he was as an artist, you know, and he stuck to it, and he didn't get intimidated by any of those guys.
Yeah.
And so, which is rare, but that to me is like, that's an example of what a
How
young
do you
artist
do that,
should
though? To me, it's so like,
oh, it'd be scary. I know.
because it's like they're dangling the keys, and then there's artists in town
Yeah.
that you can tell just kind of phoned in, and they still have success. And it's like, that's a path too. And you
Yeah.
can still do okay
Sure.
if you just do what the label says. But
Yeah.
sometimes the label doesn't know.
No.
It's all a gamble.
No one knows.
Yeah.
It's still amazing anytime a song ever even comes out, because every time there's a hit, everyone's like pretty jazzed about it, because we all know in our gut that we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah, right.
We don't know what's going to connect.
Yeah.
You know, what we think might connect, you put it out there and it bombs, you know.
Yeah, right.
So there's no telling. But he knew who he was, and he stuck to it, and it worked for him.
Did you see him at the Bridgestone show a
No,
week or two
no,
ago?
no,
I didn't
no.
go either. I wanted, but I couldn't go.
No, I had my little girls that night, so I couldn't
Yeah.
go.